Yo, what's up, guys? This is going to be a different kind of video. Usually I don't really make videos like this, but I might try to start putting out more type of opinion videos and things like that. So put down in the comments if you think I should continue doing these videos. I did that other video a while back about James Krause, and that was kind of, I think I was like one of the first people that called that out, and, first people to talk about that. So now it's kind of all getting out there, and I'm just going to, give a little bit of a reaction to this video here where Paddy Pimblett is talking about Ariel Helwani, talking about the MMA media, and kind of giving some thoughts and opinions on Ariel and on his show and how he should run his show and how the MMA media should treat fighters and things like that. And just, if I disagree or agree with what Paddy is saying here. So I'm going to play the clip, and then I'm going to kind of pause it and give my thoughts on what he's saying. So if you haven't seen it, here you go. This is what he says.
Especially the ones what earn off us, in like Ariel Helwani in particular, but he loves earning money off fighters. Like every decent job he's had, he's been sacked from. And now he's just a biased content creator. You know what I mean? 100%. And he hates on you, hates on the UFC, he hates on me now, and it proper annoys me because he uses fighters for clicks, uses fighters to make money, and then tries to have the audacity to talk about the UFC and yourself, saying that they don't pay the fighters enough. Get your dough out, Ariel. You know what I mean? Start paying people for these interviews, but you make thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on. And I know that now because I make money off YouTube. I know how much he earns off YouTube, of all his interviews, what he does. And you're doing it for exposure. No, you're not. You're doing it to put money in your pocket, Ariel. You little rodent. Bad.
Woo! I just
Okay, so you heard that part about what Paddy was saying. Basically, he said that Ariel tries to profit off fighters doing the interviews and things like that, and he's trying to get clicks off of fighters. Basically, he's saying that he's kind of exploiting them, right? But personally, I mean, I don't really understand what his argument is there, because obviously, I mean, he's gonna get paid. I mean, it's a job, right? He gets paid to do these interviews and do to do journalism and things like that for MMA fighting, right? So he's, doing his job. He's trying to get people on the show and do his thing. It's not like he's forcing these guys on the show. He can't force someone to come on. So obviously there's a bit of a give and take and everything, right? When you thinking of Paddy Pimblett back in the day, when people didn't know Paddy in the US especially, he was coming on the show all the time on the Helwani show, and he was talking about, yeah, man, I really appreciate you bringing me on here because not that many people in the United States know who I am, and, blah, blah, blah. And now, that he's in a different type of position. Now, he's in a way different position than almost every fighter because he has a big enough profile where he can monetize his own content. He can go on YouTube and he can make, like you said, thousands of dollars putting out videos. And I'm not talking crap about this guy, but then you have other people who are been doing it for years, like UFC champions like Aljamain Sterling, people like that, and they can't get even close to the amount of traction that that Paddy gets on his channel or that Ariel gets. So obviously, going on Ariel's show where you can get all this exposure, it's a positive for 99% of the roster. I mean, maybe if you turn into a Paddy, a Conor McGregor, the type of guys that can, monetize their own brand and make money outside the sport, then yeah, maybe you don't need Ariel Helwani at that point. But to me, it's just a little hypocritical, especially when you saw him, going on the show so often when he had a smaller profile, and he didn't seem like he wanted to get paid then. He wasn't, asking to get paid and all that. And maybe he's thinking, obviously his profile is raised and now his, time is worth more. But to me, you should never pay anyone for interviews because that's turning into a like kind of slippery slope at that point. If you start paying this guy, paying that guy, bringing him on, I mean, are you going to be able to ask them the same questions? Are you going to have more biased opinions about them? I mean, it all turns into kind of murky territory at that point. And I just don't think, I mean, it's either you want to go on the show or you don't want to go on the show. If at this point, Paddy doesn't feel that it's, he doesn't need to go on there to get exposure. He can go on his YouTube, he can go on his own Instagram and make money himself, and unless he gets paid, he's not going to do interviews with people. I mean, okay, that's his prerogative, but you can't say that going on Ariel's show doesn't give a positive to any fighters. I mean, if someone has a no name or no profile, they go on Ariel's show a few times, man, I mean, they could get sponsors, they could get, money in different ways just by, raising their awareness, and people knowing more about them. So I don't think that it's necessarily him exploiting fighters, man. I think that it's a give and take. I think the fighters are obviously giving him his time, which he needs to create a show. And then he's given them, a platform, the biggest platform in all of MMA, to sell themselves and market themselves and make money in different ways, or, sell their fight and make themselves a bigger draw so they can make money in the UFC or more money in the UFC. So, like, it's all a give and take, like you said. And I just totally disagree with that point that he made there. I just don't really even understand what he's trying to say there, to be honest.
Back and let that go. I didn't want to interrupt. He's a massive sack of is what he is.
Exactly.
He's the biggest piece of all time, and I couldn't have said it better.
Once when I was in New York for the MSG card last year, wanted me to do an interview with him, and I had a paid interview that day, and he wanted me to really let go of that paid interview, do an interview with him,
right,
for BT Sport, what he's getting paid for. And he said, "Oh no, that's me journalist integrity. You're not a journalist no more.
Far from it.
You're a content creator, Ariel. You're not a journalist. Stop lying. You're very biased in what you do and what you say."
So true. And
he went on his MMA hour and talked about me and my manager. And then I ended up messaging him. I'm going to have to bleep this out, but my first line was, "You're a cheeky you." Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And didn't like it. But I was just me being honest. Right. Know what I mean? He was talking about me, saying that I can't believe fighters and managers have got the audacity to ask me for money. Why wouldn't we? You're a content creator.
Wait.
And obviously you got Dana there, and Dana and Ariel have had beef for a long time now, and Dana really kind of wanted to eradicate it from the sport because, there's a lot of journalists or people that, kind of kowtow to the UFC where they give them the coverage that they want. They're not going to be talking about the negative aspects of the UFC. They're never going to be talking about fighter pay or anything like that. And Ariel is willing to, go and talk about, the bad side of the business too. And I think that Dana White obviously doesn't like that. So he has a beef with Ariel, and that's always going to be there. So that's kind of why he's talking shit about him. But, with what Paddy said, I do agree with that. I mean, if he has like a paid interview and then Ariel's trying to get him on a show and then Ariel gets mad about him choosing the paid interview, I mean, Ariel shouldn't be, thinking that he can demand interviews or it's like going to be given to him right away just because of his stature. I mean, if he's getting paid to go somewhere else, then yeah, you should probably go over there and do the interview where you're going to get some money. So I agree with Paddy on that point. And in terms of Ariel being biased, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say he's not a journalist because he is someone that, is probably the main newsbreaker. I mean, a lot of the biggest fights are broken by Ariel. A lot of the biggest news stories are broken by Ariel. And he is someone that's going out there and getting the scoop and things like that. But I do agree to an extent that he is biased because I do think that there's certain people that he brings on his show quite often that he likes. And obviously the fact that they're willing to come on and do interviews and they have a good rapport with Ariel gives Ariel, good content for his show. And I think that obviously he might cheer for those guys and maybe kind of be a little bit biased towards them when he's talking about, give him a title shot and all that and pining for fighters. Like, I don't necessarily like when he does that because he is, like I said, he's supposed to be a journalist. So when he's out there, like, for instance, he really likes Arnold Allen and he's, like, always, like, begging for the UFC to give Arnold Allen a title shot. Like, to me, he should kind of stay away from that. I wouldn't be, campaigning for guys to get title shots like Leon Edwards and Arnold Allen and all that. I mean, to me, I would kind of stay away from that. But I think it's kind of unfair to say that he's not a journalist, though, because he is probably, the biggest newsbreaker in the sport. So
who the fuck are you? This dude's ego is so massive, and he thinks he's one of. You know what the great thing is about him? He disappeared. So since ESPN let him go, I don't even see, nothing even pops up. I hear nothing about him. I see nothing about him. I literally don't even know that guy exists unless somebody brings him up to me. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and you're exactly right. He's a piece of.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really. That is just blatantly untrue. I mean, if you're following MMA, Ariel Helwani is always there. I mean, he was the one that broke the story yesterday that TJ Dillashaw retired. So like, to say you never see him anymore, I mean, I just think that's kind of like, that's ridiculous. But
a maggot. And the worst thing about him is he goes on all his interviews, God, he pisses me off, goes, I haven't got a horse in this race. Yeah, you have. It's called putting money in your pocket.
You're the horse in this race.
You're the horse in this race. And he acts like he's fighters' friends.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I messaged him about that time, he was like, Paddy, the other week when your Instagram got disabled, I was the one sharing it for you. It's like, yeah, to suck me ass, so that the next time you ask for an interview, I'd do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, it pisses me off that he pretends to be people's friends when he's not. He's a lizard.
He's one of the slimiest, scummiest mother that you will ever come across.
Yeah. I can't wait for this to get clipped out and go onto Instagram, I can't wait.
So that's pretty much it. That's all that he had to say. And that last part, I mean, I guess you could view it that way. Like, Ariel might try to be buddy-buddy with some fighters to get him to come on his show more often. But I don't think he's, like, trying to hang out with these guys, like, go to dinner or, go to a movie and shit. Like, I don't think he's really trying to be friends. I mean, it's more maybe trying to be, like, nice and maybe create a rapport where you guys can talk back and forth and, good colleagues or something. But I don't think he's trying to be friends with Paddy. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a strong word. But I kind of get what he's saying there in terms of maybe he could try to butter guys up to, get him to come on his show. But, I mean, overall, with what Paddy said, I just don't really, I just totally disagree with the general statement that fighters should get paid for media. For one, I mean, I don't know anyone that gets paid to do media. I mean, media is part of selling yourself to get paid in different endeavors or to get sponsors and things like that. And everyone does media. I mean, people that are the most famous people in the world do media, and I don't think they're getting paid. I mean, maybe sometimes they might get paid appearances, and if you could do that, I mean, more power to you. If you can get paid for every interview, if you're getting paid $1 million for an interview, then go do all of them for $1 million. But, it's not really realistic. I feel like Paddy has a inflated ego a little bit here because he is the one that has the ability, he's one of the very few fighters that has the ability to monetize himself on YouTube and interviews and his brand, and he could sell. And this is his podcast, like the one with Dana White, and I'm sure he's going to be making a lot of money on YouTube off this podcast. But 99% of the roster is not able to do that, man. So if you're a mid-carder, you're someone that's even a main event guy, and you don't have a big, high profile, going on Ariel Helwani's show and, getting yourself out there, getting a fan base, that's huge. It really helps you as a fighter. So personally, I mean, I feel like Ariel's show honestly does more good for bad than fighters overall. And, I don't really, does he want him to not talk about fighter pay? Does he want Ariel to do it for free? Like, what's his ultimate argument here, or what he's really trying to put across? Or is he just trying to kind of like shit on Ariel, because I just don't really know what is he saying Ariel should do? He should pay every fighter that comes on the show. Like, I just, if that's what he's saying, I just totally disagree. And then, Paddy has a YouTube page too. I mean, let's go look at it real quick, right? So he has a lot of people here. He did a show with this guy, Frank Grillo. He did a show with Forrest Griffin, Frank Mir, John Lundstrom, Tim Kennedy, Molly McCann. Is he paying all these guys? Like, is he paying every single one of these people to come on his show? I mean, maybe he is, but I doubt that he's paying all these guys to come on his channel. And is he exploiting them? Is he, making money off them? Like, what's the argument for him doing it himself? To me, I don't really understand why he went on the rant, but I just thought this was kind of an interesting topic to talk about, give my opinion, and do a little video for us. So if you guys enjoyed this video, put a comment down below and tell me if you agree or you disagree, or what you think Paddy's trying to get across here, if I totally missed the point. And yeah, I mean, besides that, do you think I should continue to do more of these kind of opinionated type videos? And if I get responses on it, I will, continue to do more. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back later to give some breakdowns. If you want to check out the UFC 281 breakdown, it's already on the channel. You want to get bets for this week, obviously patreon.com/MMAPredictionGuru is where you need to go. And going to be dropping a Bellator predictions video coming up, so make sure to be on the lookout for that. And I'll talk to you guys later.